Hi, Ron.
Hello, Kati. Long time no see.
Long time no see.
hmm
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you again. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm very happy that you give me this opportunity to be here and to answer a few questions that will help a few people getting a better idea of what I'm doing and how I can support them.
For sure.
hmm
Yes, the last time I joined your sessions, I had lots of integration to do afterwards. And yes, let's start diving deep in. What are you doing, Ron?
What am I doing? I'm doing a lot of things actually. I'm doing quite a few things. I'm a jack of all trades. I was fighting this for a long time, trying to concentrate on one thing, but that didn't work. And finally, I gave in, and now I divide my time, following different pursuits. Making music. It is taking the most of the focus on my professional activities now is the so-called Kundalini activations, energy work, working with the field. There's different ways to talk about it. Yeah.
Very interesting. You already mentioned like of 3 words: Kundalini session, energy work with the field. So let's talk about it. What are you actually doing?
Yes, it's great that you bring up this question when I was mentioning 3 different ways of referring to it. So I mentioned the Kundalini activation, I mentioned the energy work, and I mentioned working with the field. And this is important to have some clarification here actually, because oftentimes when we hear about Kundalini activation, oftentimes we get to think about energy work, or that's how people is drawn to think quite often. In fact, there's several facilitators out there that they call their Kundalini activations now, they call it energy force activations or energy force work. Well, I have quite a different approach to this. So, I often say that working with Kundalini, which for me is the same as working with the field, is not working with just energy. But I often say that energy is a very small part of it, like the crust of a pie, and then the pie goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And what's below the energy crust is all the information there is in the world. All the consciousness, is everything there is there. Everything is recorded there.
You said it's a field of information. How can I get this quite right? So
Yeah.
information like for the mind, or which kind of information?
Mm-hmm. Yes, the field. What is the field? It's very difficult to define something to which one doesn't have an intellectual or physical access. But let's try to define it by default. What is not the field? And I will go to this thing that you just mentioned. Did you say that is information for the mind? Quite precisely the opposite. To enter the field, we have to put we put the mind at rest. It's not that we have to. It's how it happens. We don't have to do anything. When the mind comes to rest, is when we enter this field. One of my mentors calls this the impersonal field. The field is that place where our personality is not there anymore. What is our personality? Our personality is our mind process, our basic ego. And I'm not talking about this egoistic thing that Sigmund Freud was talking about, but that very basis of our mind that identifies the mind with the body, and a personality is manifested through that. And this is what keeps us alive. Once we are in the field, our systems get closer to a center line of balance. And this means that everything gets aligned, our bodies get aligned, our bodies get aligned, our emotions get aligned, our thoughts get aligned.
Aligned too?
How do you explain that? Some place of balance. Let's say that you got a cold and a virus is working through you, and this is upsetting your whole system. Your immune system is gonna, oh no, alarm, red lights, everything. And you are out of your balance somehow. And once you're taking some measures to help this, or even if you don't take measures, your immune system will be taking measures and will be removing the virus in whichever way the immune system is doing so. And then gradually your body comes back to a state of wellness or balance. So this is the sort of balance I'm talking about. This is a very physical thing that I spoke about. It can happen something in the mind, it can happen something energetically, it can happen something emotionally, that you are a little bit, not in your right place, and then something can bring you back and put you in place. And the field is doing that for us.
So it works on several levels, like a lot, like all levels of the human being?
For sure it works in
Okay.
all the levels, because it is all there is. So when it's activated, when it's activated for long enough, that when it's fully activated, so to say, and a person comes into this field, the field itself will find what's not aligned and put it into alignment. So it's actually not myself doing the work. I will repeat that. I'm not doing the work. The field is doing the work. In a session, I activate myself. I resonate with the field resonates. And once the field is resonating, the field brings whoever is present there into the resonance. And each individual resonates with the field, but not directly with me. It is my aim not to channel anything into people. I don't want to channel anything into people, because that means that I would put something from me into the people, and I want to avoid that. I'm far from perfect. And I don't want to put my imperfections on people. So therefore, how I try to work is, as I said, activating the field that's floating around, the field resonates, and itself, the field itself, or Kundalini, is the one who's working on the individual, doing the changes, making the changes that need to be made at this precise time in this precise individual. And another time for that individual, there would be a different change that needs to be made. And this is what's happening, and this is why people is experiencing something different to some extent from session to session. And sometimes the sessions might be a little bit similar for a given individual, and sometimes they're oh my God, but this was so different today. I mean, this happens time after time. I've been holding a space sometimes for participants, and they get into a very emotional process, and sometimes I get into this emotional process with them, and I have had participants sobbing and crying, and I have found myself sobbing and crying with them.
As I've been visiting your session, you also have done such practices with us before, like activating some channels, or also the breath practice to cleanse. And this was also for me a way better to receive than the session afterwards. So yeah, it helped me a lot to get into a good state.
Yes, true. This is why these practices are there. I handpicked, I cherry-picked these practices, and actually mostly nowadays I decide on the day what I'm going to do. I had a little bit of a routine before, now I'm changing every day depending on who's there. I follow the impulse.
You know.
The breath work is geared towards it's a little bit of a shake-up. Like, okay, because we know what's happening nowadays. Most people spend the days like this, sitting or lying down. I do a lot of it myself. And so then the system is a little bit of a shake-up.
Yeah.
So it's not so dormant, it's not so lethargic.
I remember once I've been to a session to you, you played with us catching before. And
Yeah.
we liked it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the
fun.
point. That was the point, to get people, to get the blood moving.
Yeah, you've been playing like a kid and catched
Yeah.
people. We also did it.
It's nice, no? So, I mean, obviously there was an intellectual component of doing this, how to get the system running and the energy flowing and blood moving and energy flowing. To me it's the same thing. They go one in hand. It's something childlike.
Yeah.
It's something very simple. Oh, I need to run, or I need to go after someone. Without all of this, am I doing this right, am I doing this exercise right, and am I moving the right way, and I have to look at the facilitator.
That's true, you just have to catch someone or run away, right?
Exactly.
So it's easy.
It's easy. It's very